All right, I saw the trailer, teaser. It's a bit short, so I'm going with teaser of the Fantastic Four First Steps. And it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's got a lot of the, which already knew going into it that it was this sort of retro sci-fi look to it of an early 60s feel, which is the original era of the Fantastic Four. And there's some comical tidbits here and there, but it's fitting within the character of the Fantastic Four when it comes to Ben Grimm and Johnny. And so a lot of the complaints is there's just too much comedy in MCU, and this is true. It's just saturated with it. But, I mean, it's not the Fantastic Four without the back and forth between those two and those elements into it. There's also the sad part about Ben Grimm, the Thing, and what he's put through, and you get some snippets there of showing you the tragedy of him and that sort of thing. There's also the scenes like the rumors was that Sue Storm takes more of a leadership role or what have you, but in here it's very much the place she's pretty much always held within the Fantastic Four narrative, and that she's the mother. I mean, I realize Ben Grimm is the same age as Reed. I mean, Johnny's her younger brother, and he's supposed to be a teenager. He looks a little older than that, but nevertheless, she basically becomes his second mother. But the way Ben and Johnny behave and whatnot, they're like two brothers picking on each other and that sort of thing. And Sue has to rein them in while her distant husband is too busy with his experiments and stuff. And so that is the narrative. The other fear is that Reed would come across as an a-hole or something like that, to almost fears that he would be the villain of the film. And I certainly hope that's not the case. You don't see any of that here. In fact, there's actually a touching scene between Reed and Susan, albeit very brief here in this teaser, but nevertheless, that's there. But that is also in the distance between them that forms because of just how Reed Richards is. And, and there's love there, but he's not as on par on that as she is. And there's some turbulence, and this happened throughout the story, but they work it out and this sort of thing. And if they keep to that, then for the most part, you pretty much have it. It's saddled with this multiverse approach and trying to make it fit with the MCU narrative and all that. A lot of that was situational because of rights and what have you. So that's the situation they're in. When the original story is really the beginning of Marvel Comics is the Fantastic Four. There was Captain America and Submariner and characters like that from the World War II era. But as far as the real drive and burst on the scene that Marvel achieved was in the early 60s with Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and so on. But just look and stylings of it, it looks really good. The cool, weird atmosphere of that world. And then the real selling point is Galactus shows up. That's just a cool scene. It's the real Galactus. You see the back of his head and everything, but it's the giant man that Galactus is. It's the helmet and everything. He's not a swarm. He's not a cloud or whatever. It's him. There he is. Malkovich has a brief scene, but in it, but I think he's playing the Red Ghost. It looks like he's got the long hair and everything. So that'll be interesting how they play this out in keeping with the Fantastic Four in this one movie before they, I guess, are moved over into the MCU, because apparently their world doesn't survive the Galactus attack and they have to escape into this other Earth that is, of course, the Earth we know from the MCU. Not exactly what I expected for the story going in, but that's been the rumor so far. And based on what we keep seeing behind the scenes footage, and then finally a full on teaser here, looks to be the case, as that's what's going to happen. I do remember there were, and maybe there were just other scenarios about them having been frozen in time, or their mission was to go into the negative zone. And for them, it hadn't been that long, but when they get back, it's decades later and that kind of thing, which I guess they decided to drop it because that's kind of the same scenario that Captain America was in and stuff like that. But overall, really, it's pretty good. And the only two superhero films, there's, of course, Brave New World. No one's mad at that. Thunderbolts, no one even knows about it. I'll probably see it, but most won't. So Fantastic Four is pretty much it. And the only other superhero film of interest is Superman. And they're actually going up against one another. And as teasers go, the TV spot that everyone got upset about, Superman's flying scene, I thought was fine. I thought it was pretty good. But the teaser that they initially released just loses the battle up against the Fantastic Four one. It's just a better presented teaser of encapsulating the Fantastic Four story. I think it really does a good job at that, of giving you a quick snapshot of these people. And the whole story is that they are this family. Now, of course, you know, Reed and Sue are married. Johnny is her brother. And Ben, well, he was Reed's buddy in college, and look what that got him. But but still, that's the nature of it. That's how they've come together, and they become this family. And that's how it functions. It's, you know, not the same as other superhero teams. There is that element to quite a few over time, but it's more, you know, buddies and that sort of thing. Whereas here, it's very much the family structure for them. So anyway, it sells it. You know, doesn't mean it's this great wonder. It might be a piece of crap. Don't know, but then that's the nature of trailers. Same like the Superman film, which I'm hoping is really good. Could not be very good, you know. But as far as the battle of the teasers, you got to give it to the Fantastic Four. I just think it's better than the Superman one. Which I have probably a lot more hope for the Superman, because I've seen quite a few really good Marvel movies, not lately, not in a long while, but was hoping for DC to figure it out. Had some bright points here and there, but so far, not so great. Now here they're going to start over. Hopefully Superman seals the deal. And it's an interesting thing because Superman and Fantastic Four are going up against each other, you know. But anyway, pretty good start for Fantastic Four. Hopefully, it's a really good film, and could go a long way to salvaging the MCU from the troubles it made for itself.